So my last video, it was just complaining about engineering and corporate, and a lot of people agreed. So that's a good thing, I guess, right? And most people do that, right? Mostly everyone that you ever talk to at parties, at any sort of social event, they're always complaining about something about their career, their job, what they do, either complaining about the people, the job itself. There's just a whole variety of things that people complain about, right? And really, everyone does. Everyone complains about something, always, because people love to complain. But what I realized was complaining about all these things, it's lost energy. It's not constructive. There's no point in it other than just hearing yourself talk and then hearing other people complain about the other stuff. So complaining is really, there's no use in complaining, right? Maybe you complain for like a second and then you come up with a plan to fix it. But when I realized that me complaining is useless and that it was my fault, it was no one else's fault that I was in that position other than my own, right? It was my choice to take the jobs. It was my choice to go to college. It was my choice to do all that stuff, right? No one forced me to do it. It was my choice. So I was complaining about my choices. And that's not really constructive, right? I realized that it was my fault that, so granted, even though like all the stuff I said in my last video about all the terrible things, yeah, they're terrible and they're bad, but people go throughout their whole career and they just get through it, right? But I think that I myself made all that stuff so much worse by complaining and literally just, I like made myself miserable. I don't know if it was from the complaining or just not being fulfilled or not being happy, but whatever it was, I made myself miserable, and that just made everything so much worse than it really was. And I guess it's a good thing, because in reality, me doing all those things ended with me stopping those things that made me miserable, right? But other than just complaining and crying and bitching about everything like everyone else does, the point of this video is I did something about it to change it, right? So I don't know, I think it was like 2014, I looked around and I was like, I don't want to do this for another 40, 30, 50, I don't know, however many years you sit at a cube farm and do your work, right? I looked at my managers, like I didn't want to have that life. I looked at the senior managers, the directors, all the people in that corporate structure, and I was like, that does not look like the life I want to live. I don't want to see like me at 65 doing that, right? So I made a change. And granted, mind you, I graduated in 2013. So I figured this stuff out with the quickness, right? That this was not what I was happy with doing. So I think in 14 I started doing, I actually remember the exact time I used to sit. I had a cool seat. There was a glass front and I could look out into the parking lot, and I'd always park my vet at this one spot where I could kind of like park it on, like not in two spots because it was like a curve, so I could like kind of park it away from everyone else so I wouldn't get any dings. And I would like sit there, and I think something just clicked, right? Like I was 23, 24, however old I was, just graduated college, and I looked out and I was like, this is everything. Like this is what being an engineer, being in this job is gonna get me. A used Corvette, granted it's still a badass car to this day, but this is what it's gonna get me. A used Corvette, sitting, looking out, wanting to go drive it when I have to sit here and do this bullshit paperwork. So that's when everything clicked, and that's when I was like, I gotta figure out a way to buy not used Corvettes and be able to buy cool new stuff that I want to buy when I want it, right? So that led to me buying my first rental. I actually looked, and it was in May 2015, so almost 5 years ago. Yeah, that's math. Yep. So 5 years ago is when I bought my first place. And then from there, it kind of just grew and grew from there, right? So I started building skills to be able to do that because I did it, right? I made a choice to stop complaining about, everything, and made a choice to do something about it, right? And vast majority of people you sit there and you have a conversation with, and they blame everything on everything. Literally, like the government, the governor, the water, the sky, the air, the grandparents, the parents, the childhood, you name it, and people have blamed their situation or their whatever on it. And that is pointless, right? It doesn't get you to any sort of good result, right? So I guess that's the point of this whole long drawn out video is, yeah, figure out the stuff that you don't like with what you're doing and do something to change it, because no one else is going to come change it for you, right? It's no magical business is going to rain down on you from the sky and be like, hey, here, Tito, do me and you'll be rich and you'll be fulfilled and you'll have your freedom, right? That's never going to happen. You have to do it for yourself. So I guess that's the point of this video. So, hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.